I don't know where to even begin with all this stuff. I'm kind of waiting on my counterpart to actually get involved. So I think we're going to call the podcast Far From Okay. I think it's going to be the Far From Okay podcast, which is good. I think it fully appreciates everything without having to stick us into one corner. So you probably get a little bit of everything. It's going to be, a lot of politics, a lot of opinions, and, sports, current events, stuff like that. We're going to try and keep it a little bit of variety, stuff that we might even know what we're talking about half the time. So, I was watching Fox News today, and I saw that Kamala was talking about abortion at a rally the other day, and somebody in the crowd said, "Jesus is Lord." And it stopped her entire speech, and she looked over and she stopped smiling, and then she got real ignorant, and she said, "I think you're at the wrong rally." It blows my mind that anybody could support somebody in the ultimate leadership position who's so condescending and has so much hate and vitriol for people that disagree with her. All religion aside, whether you believe that religion is real or whether it's a concept or just a good way to live, or whether you hate religion, it really doesn't matter. The idea of religion is based more around morals than the actual, church structure itself. If you just carry a good moral code, you're pretty much living a positive religious life based on being a decent person every day, man. And it's amazing to me that these people are so excited to get rid of the idea of God or a higher power, or the actual idea of anything that would instill morals into humanity so that we care a little bit about each other. It just blows my mind. And this is the way it's been, and it's been going, and it's really not a surprise. I remember when Obama's 8 years was done in office, people were afraid to say Merry Christmas to each other for fear of offending one another. So it's just a really, really cold, condescending, and callous way to be, especially when you're speaking on something like abortion. And that's a whole other issue. But it's a very sensitive topic for you to be so condescending and so callous towards people. Just another step in the wrong direction for them. And I'm not trying to come across like a Bible thumper or something like that. I mean, honestly, that stuff to me is just. Anybody that jams their opinion down somebody's throat or tries to force somebody to take a good hard look at who they are versus trying to figure out who we are is a little bit skewed. But the reality is, I mean, we're so far from where we should be at this point. It's incredible, man. Like, I seriously would slap the shit out of some of these people today. It just blows my mind. I myself have struggled and worked hard throughout my life to be a decent human being because I wasn't always like that. I wasn't always a good guy, and I wasn't always the nicest person. I haven't always made the right decisions, but damn, man, the older I got, the more I realized that a little bit of order keeps everything in check, and you really need that for people to be decent. Now, I mean, like, people will cut you off in traffic and then be mad at you for saying something to them about it. This is insane. Nobody's held accountable for anything anymore, so everybody just goes out there. It's funny, like, the liberal mindset says that we want no law and order because everybody can live in peace and tranquility. But, like, it never turns into Woodstock. It always ends up like Escape from New York. And somehow, people are still falling into the trap. It just blows my mind, man. Like, how are you so blind? And we got people out here that hate Trump or they hate Kamala, never watch news a day in their life. You have no clue what you're talking about. You literally do no homework on the subject matter, but you will stand and die on that hill. And it just makes no sense. It would be better if people that didn't follow any kind of news or information sources whatsoever just didn't get involved in the voting process. It causes a lot of damage when you don't know what you're doing. It's I don't know. And that doesn't mean that my opinion's right and yours is wrong all the time. It's just crazy to me that you could be so uninformed and so sure of yourself at the same time. But I guess there's a lot of that these days, It's crazy. So for me, I mean, it's all about information. And it's about, when you turn on the news and watch different channels, it's about finding an outlet that agrees with you, not one that you agree with. Don't wait to hear information from people or sources. Come up with your own ideas and thoughts based on what you're seeing, based on what you're hearing. And party loyalty is so far beyond, anything intelligent, because what you're doing is, it's like rooting for a football team, and they suck. The management, the ownership's horrible. You can't ever get to the playoffs. I mean, you lose in the first round. You haven't got up off the couch since, the 80s. And then you still cheer for them all the time, man. That's not what politics is. This is something where these people that you hire into office owe you something. You don't owe them anything. You gave them a vote. You put them in office. You hired them. If they don't do what they promised they would do for you, why would you vote for them again? I mean, she's coming off 3.5 years of do nothing. And now she's asking for 3-4 more years of do nothing. And if you catch the little nuances and you catch her mannerisms and stuff, she is unqualified. She is not that intelligent, and she is very, very volatile whenever she's pressed. And that's probably the most dangerous position that we could be in, especially with everything going on today. Israel has shown us what a true military power can do. They didn't ask for the U.S.'s help in any of the strikes, kill these leaders. These are people that play no games. They know the danger and the consequences. We have people voting today that weren't even alive for 9/11. How are they supposed to take it serious and know that the threats are real? Know that you need leadership that's powerful and not leadership that's weak. Leadership that's already bought and paid for. You can't even blame it on them. The colleges indoctrinate this stuff, and we've become a society that's weak as it is. So it's incredible just how fooled the masses really are. The polling tells you it's always 50-50. I just can't believe that. Crowd size doesn't matter. Well, it does. You see the support, and you see the overwhelming press for this guy. Then you see the close-ups on the other side. You see the total incontinence on Joe Biden. You see that they have known for a very long time that he's been wrong. He's been bad. He's been oatmeal in the brain for years. They stood him up like Weekend at Bernie's because there's a higher power behind them. The difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is the Democratic Party is a machine. It has no head to cut off. They bypass accountability all the time by skipping stones down the ladder. It does nothing to stop them whenever you single out one person, because it just morphs into a different shape and continues along its path. On the other side, you can see clear leadership. You can see a clear stance on what's right and wrong and what they will and won't stand for and who they support to put them in the best position to do these things. That's why there's been such an attack for the last 8 years, because there is a head of that snake. There is leadership. There is one person to single out and hold accountable. And you better believe whether they do right or wrong on their end, they always find a way to put it on his plate in a negative light. It's crazy. I mean, it just really is. I don't understand how hard work and hard work and good moral ethics are just so far out the door right now. I mean, we used to pride ourselves on being strong and being self-sufficient, self-reliant. Now people are laughing at us because our taxes pay their benefits. I mean, this is far from okay, man. They've put our backs against the wall. They turned the water up on us. They convinced us for 8 years this was a community. Well, we found out it's not a community, because equality doesn't exist unless everybody puts in the same effort. And we don't live in a society where that even begins to happen. We live in a society where the people that do the most are punished. And people say, everybody needs help. Everybody, we can't leave anybody behind. We have to be superior in taking care of people, but we don't even take care of our own. There's no good culture in the inner cities that prevent people from doing dangerous and destructive things. You've created nothing to help. These people want government involvement in your life. They want you to need them, and you don't. You never have. But they make more money, and they create new jobs within their circles to filter more money to their friends and people around them by making you dependent on them. Providing an opportunity for somebody takes more work on their end. But if they want it, it's available. What they have done for generations in this country is string people along on the government tit and make their lives harder. Give them no culture, give them no way to develop their own skill sets. It's like Animal Farm. I mean, it really is. We're living in Orwell. Orwell's entire catalog of, well, not his entire catalog, but 2 books that he wrote could almost be put into a timeline. It goes Animal Farm and then follows into 1984. I mean, it's really insane that people would rather have somebody string them along for crumbs and pennies versus the opportunity provided for themselves where they can actually thrive. The government doesn't want you to thrive. It doesn't do them any good for you to thrive. They don't need to exist if you thrive. And just understand that while these politicians are out here telling you that they're gonna tax the rich and they're gonna make the elites pay their fair share, they have dinners where a ticket to that meal costs $500,000. The elites are the people that provide them with the funds to run these campaigns. How could they possibly bite the hand that's fed them? And to another point, now you're looking at the idea that the elites are actually running the country from above. We're a classist society. It's a rough image of Hunger Games, but we don't live in districts or anything, but you get the picture. These people sit up on top. They make life decisions for us, and they make crucial decisions for the entire planet, and they bear no consequence. Nancy Pelosi's husband just got real rich by pulling stock. Not real rich, I shouldn't say in that manner, because of course they already are, but he made a cool $500,000 by pulling stock right before that company faced a lawsuit. I'm not going to name it. This is recent. They move the market for their own pockets, and it costs you your life. Now, like I said, I'm waiting for my counterpart. He's out enjoying this beautiful weather, golfing, as it were. I got him into it, and now I have no time to do it, and it's just the most bass-ackwards thing that I've ever done in my life. But I enjoy the game. I enjoy going out and enjoying being outside on my time off. I just don't get to do it as much as I'd like to. But Rick will be here at some point. We'll get him on, have him talk about a few things. I'm still working on structuring this entire program, this entire game here. So, bear with me while I get my feet under me. It'll get better. It really will. And the more comfortable we get, the more fun we'll have. Try to get some people on and talk about some things. But, just try to keep your eyes open. Do your homework, please. Inform yourself. Inform yourself and watch both sides of the story. Inform yourself on both sides. Make your own conclusion on this thing. Don't go off of the conclusions that they give you, because they want the story written a certain way. But don't fall into the trap. And I'm Cody. This has been Far From Okay.